It's 1941. You're a pitcher. You've been warming up in the bullpen for 22 minutes, trying to stay loose, trying not to think about what's happening at the plate. What's happening at the plate is that Joe DiMaggio just got a hit, again, for the 52nd consecutive game. You go through your mechanics. You're going to throw the ball, he's going to hit it. You know it, he knows it. The 55,000 people watching know it. The only thing left to negotiate is where it lands. That's not sports anymore. That's weather. You don't argue with weather. You just stand there and get rained on. There are records in Major League Baseball that don't feel like numbers. They feel like geological formations, ancient, immovable, formed under conditions that no longer exist on Earth. They were set by men who played in flannel uniforms, who pitched every 4 days whether their arm was ready or not, who ate steak before games because protein was protein and nobody had invented load management yet. Some of these records will never be broken. Some of them are so insane that saying they'll never be broken feels like the absolute minimum level of disrespect you can show the number. And then, occasionally, a man named Shohei Ohtani reads the list, nods politely, and breaks one anyway. We're going to go through all of them. The Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr., 2,632 consecutive games. Let's start with the one that requires the least math and the most respect for human stubbornness. You are a shortstop. It is May 30th, 1982. You show up to work. You do not stop showing up to work for 16 years. Cal Ripken Jr. played 2,632 consecutive games for the Baltimore Orioles. He didn't miss a game from May 30th, 1982 to September 19th, 1998. Every hamstring pull, every groin tweak, every 0 for 5 slump in late August when the season is mathematically dead, he showed up, he got dressed, he played. Put that in terms your body understands. The average adult in the United States calls in sick 4.5 days per year. Over 16 years, that's roughly 72 sick days. Ripken banked 0, not 1. He played through an era when "you look a little stiff, maybe sit tonight" wasn't a medical recommendation, it was a firing offense. The closest active player is Matt Olson. His streak currently sits at 646 games, which is remarkable, genuinely remarkable. It's also 1,986 games short. If Olson plays every game from right now without missing a single one, he'll break Ripken's record sometime around 2034, by which point he'll be 40 years old, playing on legs that have already absorbed 12 seasons of sprinting, sliding, and diving on artificial turf. And that's the most realistic threat on this list. The record is safe. The pitcher who just kept going, Cy Young, 511 wins. You are on the mound. You have been on the mound in various forms for 22 seasons. Your arm is a geological feature at this point. Your shoulder has its own postal code. Cy Young won 511 games. He had 7 seasons where he won 30 or more. The math on that sentence takes a second to land. 7 times he won 30 games in a single season. He did this in an era when a complete game meant you threw until the game was over, not until your pitch count hit 95 and the bullpen coach started warming someone up just in case. Justin Verlander is currently the active career wins leader with 262 wins. He's been pitching for 20 seasons. He's one of the greatest pitchers alive. He is exactly 249 wins behind Cy Young. For Verlander to catch up, he would need to win his personal best season, 24 wins, 11 more times, consecutively, starting now, in his mid-40s. The mathematics here are not just unfavorable, they are a form of aggressive literary fiction. Young's record isn't listed in the books as unbreakable. It's listed there the same way you'd list "don't hold your breath while swimming to Portugal." Technically possible, categorically insane. Ichiro's 262 hits. The season everyone just kind of accepted. In 2004, Ichiro Suzuki made contact with a baseball 262 times in a single season. Not home runs, not extra base hits specifically, just the bat touched the ball and the ball went somewhere useful 262 times. To put that into perspective, in 2024, Jarren Duran led the league in at-bats with 671. If Duran wanted to get 262 hits, he'd need to bat .390 for the entire season. A .390 batting average hasn't happened in over 30 years. The last person to hit 400 in a season was Ted Williams in 1941. The same year, DiMaggio's streak was happening. Everyone in 1941 was apparently doing impossible things and treating it like a Tuesday. The reason Ichiro's record is safe isn't just the number, it's the species. Ichiro was a contact hitter in an era that has effectively decided contact hitters are the wrong strategy. Modern baseball has optimized itself through analytics, launch angle, shift defenses, and spin rates toward a style of play where hitting the ball hard matters more than hitting it consistently. Teams would rather have a player hit 45 home runs and strike out 180 times than have a player make contact 250 times with moderate power. The sport decided Ichiro's skill was the wrong skill. Then, he set a record with it. He's been retired since 2019. The record hasn't been seriously threatened since the day he set it. Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters. This should not be a plural sentence. One no-hitter requires a perfect version of every pitch you've ever thrown, combined with a defense that catches everything it touches, combined with 27 opposing batters who collectively fail to find a gap, a bloop, or a lucky bounce. Nolan Ryan did it 7 times. 7. His 7th no-hitter came on May 1st, 1991. He was 44 years old. He threw it against the Toronto Blue Jays and then probably drove home, made dinner, and went to bed. Because that's what you do when you're 44 and throwing no-hitters, and you've been doing this long enough that it barely registers as extraordinary anymore. The active record holders, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, each have 3 no-hitters. 3 is already an astonishing number. 3 means you've had the perfect alignment of circumstances 3 separate times across your career. Most pitchers never have it once. Ryan had it 7 times, and his last one was at an age when most pitchers have been retired for a decade. To break Ryan's record, a pitcher would need to throw a no-hitter once every 3 seasons for 2+ decades. In today's game, where pitch counts are tracked obsessively and starters rarely finish the 7th inning, let alone the 9th, where hitters have data on every pitch tendency, every release point, every arm slot, 7 is not a record. 7 is a monument. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, the one that absorbs everything. You get a hit? Good. Now, get another one tomorrow. Now, do that for 55 more days. Joe DiMaggio hit safely in 56 consecutive games in 1941. During that stretch, he batted .408, hit 15 home runs, drove in 55 runs, and struck out exactly 5 times across those 56 games. 5! Most current players strike out 5 times in a week and call it a normal Tuesday. The math on DiMaggio's streak has been studied by actual statisticians with actual computers. They've calculated the probability of any player sustaining a 56-game hitting streak in any given season. The number is so small it requires scientific notation to write cleanly. The current active leader is Bobby Witt Jr. at 21 consecutive games, which is excellent, which is the kind of streak that gets national coverage, trending on social media, and nightly updates on SportsCenter. It's also 35 games short, which means Witt would need to double his current record and then add 2 weeks on top of that just to tie DiMaggio. The last time anyone came within shouting distance was Pete Rose in 1978, with 44 games. That was 46 years ago. Rose's streak, the second longest in modern history, isn't even half of DiMaggio's. The 56-game hitting streak doesn't just sit at the top of the record books, it has its own gravitational field. Other records orbit around it at a respectful distance. 749 complete games, the record that is also a joke. Cy Young completed 749 of his 815 career starts. If you do the math, that's a 92% completion rate. He started a game and finished it 19 times out of 20 across 22 seasons. Justin Verlander, in 20 seasons with some of the best stuff any pitcher has ever thrown, has 26 career complete games, total, across his entire career. A 92% completion rate for Verlander would require him to have started 28 games. He started 489. This record doesn't need defending. The entire structure of modern professional baseball, 5-man rotations, pitch counts, specialized relievers, bullpen openers, leverage statistics, was invented systematically and over decades to make this number impossible. It's less a record and more an archaeological artifact, evidence of a different civilization. The Fernando Tatis Grand Slams. The math doesn't want you to do this. On April 23, 1999, Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not 2 home runs, 2 grand slams, the same inning, on consecutive at-bats with the bases loaded both times, which is itself improbable. One at bat earlier, the Dodgers held a 2-0 lead. By the time the inning ended, Tatis had driven in 8 runs personally. MLB has done the math on this one. They've calculated the odds of it happening again. 12 million to 1. To be clear, that's not 12 million to 1 per season. That's 12 million to 1 per attempt. You'd need 12 million Tatises, each getting the same scenario, each delivering, and you'd expect it to happen once. And yet, Fernando Tatis Sr., a journeyman third baseman, did it on a regular Tuesday night in April in front of a crowd that probably included people who drove 45 minutes and spent $40 on parking and thought the most interesting thing that would happen was the nachos. Pete Rose's 4,256 hits, the number that outlived the person who said it. Pete Rose has 4,256 career hits. He played for 24 years and averaged 177 hits per season across all of them. He had 10 seasons with 200 or more hits. The 2 active players closest to this record are Jose Altuve and Freddie Freeman. Both are 35 years old. Both are, right now, approximately 2,000 hits away. To close a 2,000 hit gap in the years they have left, Freeman would need an average of 246 hits per season. Altuve would need 221. The modern league leader in hits in recent years rarely cracks 200. Rose's record has the additional distinction of being held by a man who cannot be elected to the Hall of Fame due to his lifetime ban from baseball, meaning the record books contain the most hits in the history of professional baseball set by someone who is officially not allowed in the building where the record books are kept. That's not a baseball problem. That's a philosophy problem. The number stands. The building stays closed. Rickey Henderson's 1,406 stolen bases. A different kind of impossible. Rickey Henderson stole 1,406 bases across 25 seasons. His best single season, 130 stolen bases in 149 games. To put that in context, in 2023, Ronald Acuna Jr. stole 73 bases, and the baseball world treated it like a moon landing. Henderson averaged 56 stolen bases per season across a career that lasted longer than most players' entire runs. The active career stolen base leader is Starling Marte with 356 bases across 13 seasons, which means Marte, one of the best base stealers of his generation, is exactly 1,050 stolen bases behind Henderson. That gap doesn't close. Modern baseball analytics have made base stealing a risk-reward calculation that most front offices have decided isn't worth the math. Teams now weigh the cost of an out on the bases against the value of the stolen bag, and frequently conclude that the runner should just stay put. Henderson didn't have a front office analytics department calculating his leverage index. He just ran because he was faster than you and he wanted you to know it, and he was going to let you know it 130 times in a single summer. Shohei Ohtani joins the 50-50 club and ruins the entire premise of this list. Everything above, the geological formations, the monuments. Shohei Ohtani spent 2024 reading that list and apparently treating it as a to-do list. On August 23, 2024, Ohtani became the first player in 150 years of professional baseball to join the 40-40 club. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and he did it in 126 games, 21 games faster than the previous record. His 40th home run was a walk-off grand slam. He wasn't going to just do it, he was going to do it with the bases loaded in his last at-bat in the most cinematic possible sequence of events. Then he kept going. He finished the year with 54 home runs and 59 stolen bases, the first 50-50 season in history. The previous power speed record was 42-42. He passed it like a speed limit suggestion, which is a phrase we've already used in a previous video, and the point stands doubly here. He did all of this on a torn UCL that had been surgically reconstructed the year before. He did all of this while deferring $680 million of his $700 million contract so the Dodgers could afford to sign other players. He did all of this while being the most recognizable athlete on the planet in 2 different countries simultaneously. There's a record at the top of this list from 1941. A man who hit in 56 consecutive games, one of the most statistically improbable feats in the history of the sport. Ohtani looks at that record the way you look at a notification you'll deal with later. That's the list. Most of it is safe, permanently, by design and probability. Some of it was set in conditions that no longer exist. Some of it required a body that modern sports science has determined should not exist. And one guy in Dodger blue is sitting in the dugout, flipping a bat in his hands, checking items off like he's running errands. You watched from the stands. You spilled your $18 soda when he hit that walk-off grand slam to join the 40-40 club. The cup bounced off the seat in front of you. It was absolutely worth it.